Everyone, I am Chef Sumit Samadar. I am the Assistant Professor of Guru Nanak Institute of Hotel Management. So during this pandemic which is happening all around the world, we are in a lockdown situation, and we are thinking that what to do, how to go along with our time. So I have come up with some idea where we can all engage ourselves in doing something fruitful. And for me, the best fruitful thing what we can do is by cooking. So I've come up with some recipes which you can easily which is easily available and which you can even try at your home. So in today's class, what we are going to do is we are going to learn how to prepare croquette. Now croquette is a French dish which was developed in 1856 by Auguste Escoffier, and which is basically a vegetable snack or which can be served even as a hors d'oeuvre. Now there are several ingredients which are required for this. You can make a vegetarian or you can make a non-vegetarian version. I am going to make a vegetarian version but with a twist. The twist is going to be our Indian flavor. So without wasting much time, let's go to the kitchen and start cooking. Okay, so we are back into the kitchen. Before we start, I'll show you the ingredients. I have done the mise already so that it's easy for us to start the cooking and the cooking time is shortened. So I'll make you identify with the vegetables or the other ingredients which I have ready over here. So to start with, I have grated some cauliflower over here, and along with that I have grated also some carrots also over here. With that I have taken some string beans which I have chopped finely, and some green capsicum which I have also chopped finely. Now every croquette needs to have a binding agent. So in today's class, what we are using as a binding agent is boiled potatoes. These potatoes are already being boiled, and we are going to give a stuffing. And as we are making an Indian dish, so we are going to use an Indian cheese. So I have taken Amul cheese which I have cut it into small pieces which I will be using as a stuffing. To give the flavor to it, I have got half a tablespoon of chopped garlic, and along with that I have got some chopped onion which is going to be approximately 1.5 cup. Now a croquette needs to have a crumbing into it, so that's why I've got some breadcrumbs, and so that the breadcrumb holds together I have made a slurry which is made out of corn flour and water, as simple. For the cooking medium we are using a non-flavored oil, which is we are using refined oil over here, and to give some heat and spice we are using kasundi, we are using some chopped green chili and some tomato ketchup. Along with that I have got a seasoning of salt and black pepper powder. So let's start cooking on the flame. So I've switched on the flame and we are going to start cooking. So first thing goes first, so we are going to add a tablespoon of oil into this. So we'll wait till the oil becomes a little bit hot. So it has started to become hot now. So what you are going to do now is, first we are going to add the chopped onions. So always remember, if you want to cook your onions fast, so the best thing what you can do is add a pinch of salt into it, because salt takes out the moisture into the onions and it will get cooked faster. So we are not going to brown the onions over here, we are just going to cook it till it turns into translucent in color. Why? Because this is going to be a dish which will be mildly flavored with mild Indian spices into it. So you have seen that the onions have started to change its color. And at this point of time, what we are going to do is we are going to add the chopped garlic. We continue cooking. We'll cook it for a minute. So basically croquette, it is being used in different forms. Croquette can be made into, as I said earlier, it can be made as a vegetarian or as a non-vegetarian. You can use minced meat along with all these ingredients, or you can use vegetables. I'll prefer a vegetarian one. And while you are making a vegetarian one, everything you have to keep in mind is vegetarian. So that's why if you are using a non-veg, you can definitely use egg, beaten egg, which can be used for crumbing. But as we are using a vegetarian one, what we are going to do over here is we are going to make a vegetarian slurry itself. So that's why we have used corn flour and water. Now The next thing is we are going to add the green chilies, because the chilies, once it goes into the oil, it gives off the heat. So let this get cooked. So the next thing what we are going to add into this is, as I said, I am going to make it in an Indian style, so I am adding garam masala powder, 1/4 of a teaspoon. Okay, so once you have added the carrots, we need to cook it till the time we see that the carrots has become soft. So once it has become soft, we are going to add the cauliflower. Why we added the carrots first? The reason is that the carrot is the toughest vegetable out of all the vegetables that we are adding today. So it will take time to cook. So we added carrot first, and then goes, after the cauliflower goes the beans, and along with goes the green capsicum. Now all this needs to be cooked at least for 5 minutes, or till the time you see that they have got properly cooked and has reduced their size. So we'll keep cooking it for another 5 minutes. So as you can see that the vegetables have started to release water. So we know that when they have started releasing water, they are getting cooked and they have become mushy. So but we need to cook it further more for another maybe 1 minute, till the time we see that all the water has absorbed, because if the mixture is soggy, then you cannot get the binding properly and you cannot get the shape properly. And at this point of time, to add the final flavor, we are going to add some roughly chopped coriander and any kind of herbs you are using. Always remember the flavor. If you are using it for the flavor purpose, the flavor is there in the stems, not into the leaves. So I have used mostly the stems, and I will cook it for another 1 minute. Okay, so now you can see that we have got our mixture ready. I have spread it for some time so that it cools down, because now we need to work with our hand. The shaping of it, the crumbing of it, all has to be done with the hand, because it cannot be done machine made. So as I have shown you earlier, I have made some boiled potatoes. So what we need to do is, I've got a small mini grater over here, a little cute one. So what we are going to do with this is, we are going to grate the potato. Why do we need to grate it? Why aren't we mixing with it? Because if we grate it, then each and every particles of the mixture what you have got over here will get mixed and binded up with the potato properly. So we are going to grate it now. Mash the potatoes. I've added some extra seasoning, salt and pepper, and along with that I've added some breadcrumbs. So now our next part is to mix it nicely. So we are going to do a folding method so that everything gets mixed nicely. So now you see that we have mixed it together and our mixture is ready. So what we need to do is, now we are going to shape it and we are going to stuff it with the cheese. So very simple, just see what I am doing. Just focus on my both the palms. And in this time, please do remember, and always in the kitchen, that if you have to work with your hand like dishes like this, you better sanitize your hand and before you add, because there are certain things, certain food in the kitchen which can be properly only cooked only when you are using your palms. A dish like croquette cannot be, as I said, it cannot be machine made. So you take one portion of it with your palm in a circular motion, make it a ball shape, and then very simply place it in the center. Okay, and then you take a piece of cheese, stuck it inside, close the ends properly, and as the shape of a croquette is always cylindrical, then only you call it a croquette. So you gently, as you can see my palm movement, you don't press it, you gently shape the croquette. So in the same manner, what you need to do is, you need to finish off the rest of the mixtures. Okay, so we are back and we have shaped all our croquettes properly. Now what we are going to do is, we are going to do the crumbing process. So the crumbing process goes in a flow, and I've arranged the ingredients in a flow for your better understanding. So first the main ingredient, follow to that, we are going to dip it into the slurry, then it goes into the breadcrumb, and then we keep it over here. So let's do it. So just gently give it a coating of the slurry, and then it goes over here into the breadcrumb, nicely coat it. So one is done. I'll show you one more. So goes into the slurry, gently just roll it, goes back over here in the breadcrumb. And please do remember, every stage it has to be seasoned. Your food always needs to be seasoned. So even this breadcrumb also I've added salt and pepper so that it gets seasoned nicely. Otherwise all the salt we have added in the mixture, but outside it will be no seasoning. So we'll just quickly finish the other two. Same process, breadcrumb. The last one. And we are done. And I have put some oil, refined oil for heating purpose, and it has become nice and hot. I've added a pinch of the crumbing to see whether it has really become hot. So you can see that small sizzles coming on. So this is the perfect time to add our croquettes. So we will not rush, otherwise it may break. So in gentle hands, just glide it down. So you can add 2 at one time, or you can add 3, whatever you are comfortable in cooking, you can do it. And we will see you with the presentation of the croquettes once it is fried completely. Okay, so while our croquettes are getting fried over here, what we are going to do is that in the beginning of the video, if you have seen, I've shown you some kasundi, and I've shown you some tomato ketchup. So even though we are making a croquette which is the origin is from France, but still what we are going to do is that we are going to give it an Indian twist. So we have to, along with the croquette, always a dip is always being served. Any kind of fried items, always a dip has to be served. So in this case, what we are going to prepare is an Indian tomato ketchup and kasundi dip, which is very much close to India, because in India, in different parts, we eat mustard, we eat different types of mustard gravy, especially in Bengal. So very simple, we have to take half a tablespoon of kasundi and 1 tablespoon of tomato ketchup, along with that seasoning of salt and black pepper. So it's all proprietary sauces, so nothing you have to do, you just have to mix it in the right portion. So adding the tomato ketchup, sprinkle a small amount, only a small amount. Why? Because as I said, tomato ketchup is a proprietary sauce, so it already has this seasoning, and then we give it a nice mix. So color should be like this, and it's ready to go with our croquettes. Okay, so as you can see that our croquettes are nicely fried, and I've done a presentation over here. We have served it with a slit of a chili, along with a sprig of coriander. And as you can see that the cheese what we have put it as a filling has nicely melted away. And along with that, we have given that kasundi and tomato ketchup dip. I hope this is very easy to prepare. Anyone with any choice of vegetables, or what I have shown you what are the vegetables I have used, but you can of course change the vegetables according to your choice. There is no hard and fast rule that you have to use this only. And for the binding agents, what I have shown, if you are making a non-vegetarian one, as I told you, you can use egg, or you can use in the filling, you can use minced meat, or even you can use different kind of white fish, preferably white fish, because that's give a lighter taste to it. So that's all for today. I hope you have learned something, and during this COVID-19 lockdown period where we are sitting at home, and I think I've given you some idea where you can make something at your home, and you can really have a nice time with you and your family members. Till the next time, stay home, stay safe. Thank you.